6 hours a day. 6 hours a day. I wake up at 6 a.m. and I dial till 10 p.m. I'm happy you're working, but like, let's talk about efficiency. And it seems like you have found a simple way to be significantly more efficient. Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. All right, hello everybody. Grady Polson, the America Agency. So excited to have Lauren Garza on with us today, joining us from upstate New York.
We moved from the city to Connecticut, so I am a Connecticut resident now.
Upstate Connecticut, and she is a former. I mean, she'll tell her background, which is incredible. That she's lived in the city and the life she lived, but is now transformed and transferred herself and her family to Connecticut, and is now selling life insurance at a significantly high level, managing young ones, managing a family, managing a household, and still selling insurance at the same time. And so I got to spend some time with Lauren over convention, and just an absolute soulful, wonderful person, and been watching her production continue to tick up and up and up. I knew there was processes and things that she does that we can all learn from. And that's what my goal is for everybody today, is you're going to hear what she does, her structures, her disciplines, her processes, her scripts, and apply them. Write them down. Take a few points from what she says. Do you have to change everything you do? Well, if it's not working, change everything you do. But if you're already doing something at a high level, take 1, 2, 3 points of what she does, implement it at what you do today, and let's all get better together. But I'm so excited to have Lauren on with us. And without further ado, Ms. Lauren Garza, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I've been excited for this for a few days. Thanks for having me on, Grady.
I'm so excited to have you on. Well, so I mean, I can sing your praises, but it's far better to hear them come from your experience and how you got through it. Because in any business, there's challenges at the beginning, there's doubts that rise up, there's fears, there's adjustments to be made, especially within a new business and something that's so self-driven like we have. I would love to hear, and with everybody, to hear your story, your background, how you found us, how you found insurance. Were you always just so gifted on the phones, or is this a learned skill? And just a little bit how you found your way to us, and then we'll jump into some more thick training after this.
Sure. So I got into the industry a little by accident. I was after COVID or during COVID, personal training, and we moved out of Manhattan. We had a house in Connecticut part-time, so we were going to the house in Connecticut part-time while living in the city for 16 years. And COVID happened. We left the city, went to the house in Connecticut, and didn't leave. So my whole idea of what my future looked like had completely changed. I was selling real estate in the city, personal training part-time as well on those off hours. So I needed something to do, and I needed to do it from home. So I started an online training business, personal training business. It was going okay. I tried to think of people I could attract to my personal training business that were also working from home. So I thought insurance agents are great. So let's find some insurance agents that are at home working that need to exercise. So I started messaging a bunch of people that I found in insurance. And Deidre Sherman, who is no longer with the company, but I owe her my life for changing it. Messaged her. We communicated for a few months. I saw her posts about her team, how well they were doing, how much money they were making, kind of the lifestyle stuff, the self-development stuff that went along with her process and her team and this business. And I was immediately attracted to it. It was the money, of course, in the beginning, but I was also attracted to just the team aspect, the camaraderie, the lifestyle, the things that I wasn't getting from my own business and my own enterprise that I was trying to build. So I reached out and said, hey, it looks like you're doing really well. I want to do what you're doing. Got my study materials, took the test in about 8 days, and got going within a month. And that was it. I mean, I fell in love with insurance. Had no expectations of what it would be like. I just knew that I needed to work from home, and I needed to figure this out.
Was that
so? I got going pretty quickly.
Was that 2022?
That was actually March 23.
March 23. Okay.
Mhm.
And then did you come out the gate swinging? Did you run into a brick wall like most of us? Or how did
No,
you elbow chop?
I did not come out swinging, not at all. I had at the time she was 2, she had just turned 2, and schools hadn't really opened up yet. So we had our youngest at home, the other one in school. So I had very limited time to do this, but I knew that I wanted to make it work. So we shortly put I think she was 3, maybe 2.5, our youngest one in a little program for a couple hours. So I had 9 to 12:30. I could sit here at my desk from 9 to 12:30 and work. So that was the beginning of this, and it was not easy. I was hammering old leads that Deidre had given me, recycled leads, dollar leads, 50-cent leads. I was just trying to accelerate my learning curve as quickly as possible. I was using dialing systems. I was hand dialing while I was on the dialer. I was trying to accelerate my learning curve quickly, and I knew that I had such a short time to do it in. I had to do it quickly. It was not easy. It was hard. I mean, I think that first year I wanted to quit 365 times, but I had burned the boats. I wasn't going back to the city. There aren't enough transactions in Connecticut for real estate to make sense long term. And to be honest, I didn't want to be a 40-year-old personal trainer. So I gave myself 1.5 years to figure out how to get out of the situation I was in and to excel at this. And I figured it out.
So talk about that first year though. What were you issuing or issuing a week, a month? Like, did by June, you had a great month. You were like, okay, I'm going to stick with it. Or were there some down? Like, how'd the year end? What do you think? Do you remember what you issued your first year?
I think first year was a little rocky. I think my spouse was encouraging me to find a job, get something. We have, at the time we had 2 incomes, and we still do, but it was a rock. I think to 20K on average, not bad. I mean, I was definitely depositing a good amount of money, but not where I wanted to be, knowing that I could only work 2.5 to 3 hours a day. And that was pretty, and that was frustrating, but I knew that she would be in kindergarten and all my efforts would be not for all.
Got it. So then fast forward to 2024. Did something happen? Did you go to kindergarten and there's more free time, or like, was that I mean, you seem like
that was it.
A very committed parent, right? Where I would be like, we need to put them in daycare. We'll bring in a nanny. We'll just put them outside with some food. Like, dad's got to work, but you're like, nope, I'm going to carve out these 3 hours. And I would never do that. I'm going to carve out these 3 hours. And this is what I'm going to commit to, because my other goals are, I want to be a mom. This is important to me. And that's important. This is wonderful. It's important to me too. And I love that you balance that. But then what happened in 24 that then has rocket shipped you forward to how well you're doing now in 25?
So in 24, I still only had 3.5. Oh no, she went to a program till 1:30. So I had an extra hour, right? She's a year older. So I had an extra hour to work. So during that extra hour, I think when I first started, I listened to a training with Daniel Kirby, and I'm not even sure if he's here anymore, but he hit Hall of Fame by not picking up the phone. He hit Hall of Fame by texting his leads, and he didn't pick up the phone for 1 whole year. And I remember that video vividly. I watched it a couple times, and I thought, well, this guy's not doing anything I can't. So I found the cheapest mass text program I could. I pumped all of my leads into it. I figured out what I wanted to say, and I texted them every 2 days for months, every single lead, because I only had 3.5, 4 hours to dial. Right. A full call through from ring to voicemail is about 3 minutes. I cannot get to 300 leads in 3 hours if I'm doing a 3-minute call per lead. And what if I have an appointment? What if I'm in an application? It takes an hour. That's my workday. So I needed to figure out how to get to these people creatively without eating into my making money time. And the outreach, it just made sense that if I'm not going to pick up the phone, why should I expect Betty, 78 years old in Tennessee, to pick up the phone when she gets hammered with 60 calls a day for, Social Security, life
Yeah.
insurance and health insurance. It's not going to happen. So I had to find a way to get to these people other than dialing them.
Do you remember your message, your hot knife through butter message?
It's always the same. It's the same on the phone as it is in text, and it's, hey, I'm looking at an application you didn't get to finish. I hope you found what you were looking for. If not, let's get on a 5-minute call and let me help you out. And it's always the same.
That was worth showing up, guys. I never heard that before, and that was fantastic. Could you say that one more time?
Sure. Hey, my name is Lauren. I'm looking at an application you didn't get to finish online. Maybe the price was too high or the coverage wasn't lining up with your needs. Let's make sure I help you find what you were looking for. And then I kind of take it if they're busy or whatever the case. I hit Hall of Fame on Ethos leads all day long for a whole year. That's all I did.
That's awesome.
And it was the abandoned applications that, whether they didn't like the price, the website glitched out, they were routed to a coverage that they weren't initially looking for, and I just scooped them up.
I mean, that would work with any lead. Anyone would go, I started something. What did I not do? Yeah, it looks like you started your request for coverage. We're missing how much your beneficiary, just keep the conversation going. That's awesome. Okay. So
that's a big part of my business too. It's all conversation. I don't really consider myself a salesperson. I don't really think I'm selling anything. I'm giving you information, making sure you get what you need. What are you looking for? Let me help you.
So now in 2025, what is your schedule?
She's in kindergarten since September. So now I can work from 9. I drop them off, and then I work from 9 to 3:10. It takes me 10 minutes to get to school. So I have a huge day. That's massive for me. I can get so much done. And it's pretty concise. I've never worked a weekend. I've never worked an evening. I don't work past 4. I mean, I make dinner every night. I just make sure that the 3.5 to 5 hours, sometimes 5, I'm as intentional as I can be with my time.
Okay, so we're going to dig into your script and some of the tricks and things you do to get more leads, but please drop a 3 in the chat below to show her some love for knocking this out in 30 hours a week, 6 hours a day. 6 hours a day. I wake up at 6 a.m. and I dial till 10 p.m. I'm happy you're working, but let's talk about efficiency. And it seems like you have found a simple way to be significantly more efficient. And that is something that has come with lead investment. I'd imagine you have a bunch of leads now that you've invested. And I talk about it oftentimes with new agents. It's like you're buying land, or you're buying seeds, and those seeds all haven't germinated yet. But it's over time, you'll water them, you'll give them sun, you'll give them more water, you'll give them more sun, and eventually they'll start to germinate, and you'll have some potential people to talk to. But you have a repository of a lot of leads. You use a CRM. I'd love to talk about that, which you use now. And then you also are just hyper focused of we're moving forward or not on the sales call. Like it's, you don't seem like someone that futz around much with the lead talking about, the weather or sports. You're like, I have limited time. I need to be in the car. I'd love it. Let's jump just so while we've got you, what is the CRM you're using now, and anything you like about them that different than what you used to use? And then I want to jump into your script, what you're saying to people, because you're clearly you've got a knack with words, you've got a confidence, and that's something that I want all agents to be able to pull from you so they can go out there and protect families like you do.
Sure. So I use a CRM. I've never used a CRM. I was using spreadsheets and a very inexpensive mass texting system, juggling pieces of paper. Like, it was very analog. And I knew a lot was falling through the cracks. So this year, I promised myself I would remain more organized and put a lot more emphasis on tracking and reaching out to the people that I could not even remember. So I got Lead Champ Pro, and it has really changed my business, because now the 6 hours, sometimes 5, that I have to work are extremely concise, because now I'm sending out messages with the automated messages from the CRM. I'm pumping in aged leads that I'm not even dialing. So now I'm getting appointments booked on my calendar from people that I've spoken to in the past that haven't followed through, that remember me because they're like, oh, Lauren, yeah, sorry we didn't get to connect. Glad to hear from you again. Or the aged leads that I buy and pump into the system to constantly have appointments on my calendar.
Awesome. How many, what's your, every 30 minutes, 15 minutes? Are you double booking your calendar? Like what's your, like if you wake up on morning and you look at your calendar, or you're looking at the night before, how do you know it's going to be a good day? Like what's a good day that you've got a stacked calendar looking like?
Anywhere between 8 to 10 appointments, but we all know there's about a 50% show rate. So let's say 8 to 10, 5 show up, I sell 2 to 3, and that's pretty consistent. And in between that, I'm constantly dialing, I'm constantly texting, I'm emailing. There is not a moment where I'm not doing something to get after the people that ask for my help. Not a moment. I mean, I don't go to the restroom unless I absolutely have to. I eat at my desk. I have a cheese stick and an orange at 11. I make a smoothie at 2, and I go pick up the kids. I mean, I take 0 time to do anything else because I know that I have all of these people to talk to, and if I don't talk to them, somebody else will.
Awesome. That's so I love it. And so let's talk about lead mix. Are you going final expense, paper mailers? Are you doing IULs? What's your lead flow look like? And then ballpark how much you're spending a week?
I run every lead type. Mortgage protection, final expense. I love IULs. I still get ethos, abandoned cart leads. So I'm running everything. I'd like to be able to teach everything. And I don't want to necessarily feel like I'm pigeonholed into running one appointment or one demographic, which is really nice too. I'm, whether it's a veteran or, someone in New Jersey that's a business owner making 900K, I can speak to them both the same. And I love that.
Awesome.
The amount of money I'm spending.
No. How much are you spending?
Spending is, I'm trying to keep my overhead lower. I spent a really conservative amount of money last year because the intent with the leads I was purchasing was pretty high and the income was high as well. So I'm trying to chase that same spend, having a little harder time this year because I'm trying to grow. So of course I've got to spend a little bit more, and I'm trying to build my team as well. So there's time allocated to that. I mean, that's a whole another animal. I would say my weekly spend is anywhere between $1,500 to $2,000. And that's something I'm trying to work down so that I can profit more. And that's a matter of, buying a less expensive lead and making sure that I maximize the lead as much as I can.
And well, what are you submitting per week, or, average you're submitting or issuing? We'll just go issuing.
I issue probably 10 a week, 8 to 10 a week.
Got it. Okay. So
deposits. I mean, we're depositing money here. These are not numbers that are like fairy numbers. We're submitting 100,000 and getting paid 25. I mean, these are deposits.
Yeah. No fairy numbers here. I like that.
No.
But if you're spending, say 6,000 a month on leads and issuing, depositing 8 to 10,000, it's like 40, it's a 20% cost of business, take out some chargebacks, some advance, but you're having fun. You're having fun. These are fun numbers to start getting into. And so that's great to hear. Now, I would always advise you though, as I heard this recently, someone was like, I want to issue 60,000. Say we want to issue 60 or 80, or you issued 92 last September. What happened in that month? Did you just go crazy? Did she have spring break and you just were like, you just went to work?
She went to school till 3. She was in school till 3. I had 6 hours to work and I went absolutely nuts. I like the best month ever.
Yeah. So the thought process is, if you want to issue a number, right? Stan Smith said this to me just the other day, and he was saying he was coaching some agents, and I overlistened. And I was like, this is a fascinating thought process to do that. Is it like, say your goal is 100,000 to issue in a month? What would you, if you would do anything to issue 100,000, would you spend $100,000 on leads to issue 100,000? Well, it wouldn't make financial sense, but if your goal is 100,000 to do it one time, then spend the 100,000, get as many leads as you can, and then issue 100,000. And now you've hit that mark. And then from there, you can back down your expenses to get it as low as possible to be able to still hit that mark. And you can watch yourself manage your business. But at the same time, you have $100,000 worth of leads that now you can continue to drip on in perpetuity. And it wasn't the right time for half of them, but it might be the right time for a group of those as time progresses. And so if you've got big goals, just overspend what you think is reasonable, right? You have to be unreasonable sometimes in business to do things that most people think are unreasonable, but are reasonable inside of our world. The fact that we have people putting up $93,000 in a month, congratulations to Mara Mignona, it's incredible, but it's just something that happens here. And we're happy to be here because that's cool to be in an environment where, at any other company, Lauren, you'd be a top 3 producer, top 5, top 3, possibly even number 1 producer at some companies. But here, you're in the top 500, right?
I'm pretty low. I'm pretty
You're in
low
the
with the
top
money I'm
500,
making.
right? But that's still pretty cool. Like, it's cool to have that as a benchmark.